It's 9:36 now at WSJM, AM 1400 and FM 94.9, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest. I'm Brenda Layne. In the spotlight now, it's the Whirlpool Pride Network. My guest today is the lead, Brad Gorman, and this month is June Pride Month, so Brad's going to tell us all about that today. So first of all, Brad, what is the Pride Network at Whirlpool?
Well, Pride Network is one of our 7 employee resource groups at Whirlpool, so every year we partner with the Out Center and with community organizations to just have a really full, busy Pride Month with all kinds of events and activities.
And what is the objective of the resource groups and of yours in particular, the Pride Network?
Well, the resource groups were set up. Pride Network actually was the 3rd employee resource group, started at Whirlpool in 1999, and it's basically set up to identify and eliminate barriers to inclusion for our employees. So we want all of our employees to be able to reach their full potential, and Whirlpool Pride Network was set up to identify and eliminate those barriers for LGBT employees.
Okay.
And so now we serve as a resource group for employees, business, and the community.
Well, I know that I definitely have heard about the Women's Network at Whirlpool. That's probably the biggest one, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very strong group, quite a stronghold in the community as well. And what are some of the other resource groups there?
We've got the Women's Network, African American Network, Pride, Hispanic, Young Professionals, Native American, and Asian community.
Okay, wonderful. Well, now I guess time to talk about June Pride Month. Is this local? Is this regional? Is it national?
Pride Month is actually international.
Oh, international.
So, yeah, it's an annual celebration of LGBT equality. It started back in 1969. There was a Stonewall riots out in New York, and that kind of sparked the modern day LGBT equality movement.
Let's first define LGBT for the listeners.
Yeah. It's not a lettuce, guac, bacon, and tomato sandwich, even though that acronym might sound like it. But it's actually lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community.
Okay.
So we use that interchangeably with gay community.
All right. So the inception again of the event.
Oh, so it was basically to celebrate the annual anniversary of the Stonewall riots, which sparked the modern day LGBT liberation movement. And so every year there's different Pride festivals. Usually a city will take like a Pride weekend. So they'll have parades and festivals and family events and activities. And our Pride in Southwest Michigan is kind of all of June. We just have so much stuff going on.
So is there always then a Pride week or a Pride celebration in Southwest Michigan?
Yep. We've been doing Pride events. We've done them over the years at different locations, Acorn Theater and Krazel. And they actually sprung out of the early beginnings of the Out Center, or the Out Affirmation Center, which started as a film festival. So it's kind of evolved over the years into what it is today.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the events that are planned for this month. I know one of them has already passed by the time we could get you on the show.
Yep,
but there are still several remaining that the LGBT community can participate in, or their allies, right?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that, because this one that I'm going to talk about that's tomorrow afternoon is actually specifically targeted toward allies.
Okay.
It's called Straight for Equality Diversity Training. And basically every year Whirlpool hosts a couple of these sessions for employees. We open up one session to the community. And it's real important because when we have a lot of gay people that move to the area to work for Whirlpool, and we want that inclusive workplace environment, but we also want a really welcoming and inclusive community. So this is really targeted toward those folks that might have said, you know, I've got a gay friend, neighbor, coworker. I've always wanted to do something to support the LGBT community, but I haven't really known how to do it. I just don't really know what to do. So this is a 90-minute training that talks about being a straight ally and talks about helping to overcome those barriers to inclusion for your gay friend, neighbor, parent, uncle, coworker.
Mm-hmm. How important are our allies in, making sure that there is equality for the LGBT community?
They're very important. Allies can really make a difference. I mean, I know personally for, your own coming out process, you absolutely need those people in your life that are going to love and support you. And so we have a lot of allies just coming out of the woodwork that come up to us and they're like, my son just came out last year, or, a couple people at work who have had parents come out and they've become an ally themselves to support a friend or a family member. So they're coming out all over the place.
And you define ally by someone who is straight or heterosexual, but is very welcoming and accepting of the LGBT population.
Absolutely.
Correct?
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll take a break and we'll talk about some of the other June Pride events that are happening here in Michigan's Great Southwest when we continue in the Spotlight today on WSJM, AM 1400 and FM 94.9, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest. It's 9:44 now at WSJM, AM 1400 and FM 94.9. I'm Brenda Layne, and today we're talking about Pride Month, which is June. My guest today is the lead for the Whirlpool Pride Network, Brad Gorman, and we're talking about events that are open to the people in LGBT community locally, also allies of those people, family, friends, and just in general, the population that is open, welcoming, and affirming for the people in that population, right, Brad?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about some of the other events. The first one that you just mentioned is June 16th, that's tomorrow. Is that tomorrow?
That one's tomorrow afternoon. And
that is the Straight for Equality Diversity Training at Whirlpool, hosted by Out Center. Is there still time for people to get involved with that one?
Absolutely. There's still a couple spots left.
Okay.
You can call 925-8330 to the Out Center to RSVP for that. So there's still a few spots left, and that's 3:30 to 5 o'clock at the Whirlpool headquarters.
All right, very good. All right, what's next then?
The next event we have is the Outing at Harbor Shores. And I know they were on to talk about this. This is a real exciting one. It brings a lot of businesses and community partners together. And it's our first ever golf outing and fundraiser for the Out Center. Mm-hmm. And that's going on Friday. I believe all of the golf teams are actually full for that, but there's still tickets available to the after party. It's going to be really fabulous food and wine at the after party. And
where and when will that be, Brad?
That's actually going to be at Harbor Shores. It's Friday the 17th.
This Friday.
Yep. And the after party event and charity auction and everything like that starts from 5:30 to 9.
Yeah. And we've referred to the Out Center a few times here. So let's tell people about the Out Center, even though I know Director Jen Sue was just here last week, but you might have missed that.
Absolutely. So the Out Center is our local LGBT resource center. So it supports the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and straight allied community of Southwest Michigan. It's actually evolved over the years. It started as a film festival, and then it was a kind of a program of the YWCA in downtown St. Joe. And over the last few years, it's moved into its own location in downtown Benton Harbor.
Changed the name to the Out Center.
Changed the name, to shorten it up a little bit. So now it's just Out Center. And
it's in the Arts District in Benton Harbor.
Yes, it's right over by Phoenix and the Gelato Company, so right in downtown Benton Harbor.
Yeah, and wonderful resource library there available for people to get more information on certain topics. Yeah. List of affirming organizations and churches and lawyers and service providers, right?
Yeah, all kinds of great community efforts going on there. And I know there's a support group on Monday night and a youth outreach program that goes on Sundays. So lots of great programs.
Very good. All right. And then there's still another event that you want to mention?
Yes. The last one to round out the month is Lake Effect Pride at Acorn Theater in Three Oaks.
And that was the event that started it all, right? Started the Out and Affirmation Center.
Yep. That's our Big Bang Pride Month event. So it starts at 6:30 p.m. at the Acorn Theater down in Three Oaks. And it's actually hosted by Angina from RuPaul's Drag Race. So we've kind of got a drag celebrity coming in to host our Pride right here in Southwest Michigan.
Cool. And you can get more information on all the events that you just mentioned by going where?
That would be on outcenter.org would be the easiest way.
All right. And so the people that are participating in the Whirlpool Pride Network, there's a lot of probably back and forth with Whirlpool employees who are involved in that and the Out Center.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. We partner up on a lot of events and activities.
All right. So tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that the LGBT community, has, people like you or other people who do move into this area to work at Whirlpool or other places and have to kind of find their way in a new community.
Yeah, there's a few barriers to inclusion. Some of those that we talk about are actually like laws and things that have to change in order to make a fully inclusive community. And then some of those are cultural. So one of the big legal ones that we talk about is the city right now, our city, state, and federal government has no non-discrimination policies for sexual orientation. So in 26 states in the United States, you can actually be fired for being gay.
Really?
And if you can imagine what kind of impact that might have on morale or on being comfortable being out at work, it's just really not a good environment. So a lot of communities, Saugatuck, Kalamazoo, communities are passing these city non-discrimination ordinances. States are doing it. And then we're also working with the federal government to pass ENDO, which is the Employment Non-Discrimination Act.
Yeah, but until that happens, really, some lesbians, gays, people in that community actually have to hide that fact or feel compelled to hide that fact for fear of possibly losing their employment.
Absolutely.
Really.
So if you think about that, just, hiding who you are at work, it would lead to poor work morale. Everybody wants their cube mate at work or their friend at work to be able to performing at their highest level. Yeah. So being out at work is generally something pretty important.
All right.
So then on the flip side of that, we've got the cultural barriers to inclusion. And that's really what this training tomorrow addresses. So it's how to create that welcoming workplace environment and how to, not hide gender pronouns when you're talking about your friend's partner. And just how to really kind of be a straight ally and stand up for what's right for your straight or for your gay or lesbian friends.
Are there other organizations in the area that you can direct people to get more information, either the LGBT community or the allies?
Absolutely. The Out Center has a great lending library of books and videos about LGBT equality for folks to learn more.
What about PFLAG?
PFLAG is great as well, yeah. We do have a local PFLAG chapter, and it's actually created for allies, and I'm glad you said that because this Straight for Equality is actually from PFLAG. It's a PFLAG training. So they come in from Washington, D.C. from their headquarters and host that training for us every year.
And the PFLAG acronym is?
That stands for Parents, Friends, and Families of Lesbians and Gays.
All right. More with Brad, and we'll wrap up on Jude Pride Month when we continue in the spotlight today on WSJM, AM 1400 and FM 94.9. Our Weather Channel forecast is next. Our Weather Channel forecast, our morning rain showers will evolve into a steady rainfall for afternoon. In fact, heavy rainfall is possible today, over an inch expected. Our high temperature today about 66. More rain early this evening, becoming more intermittent rain overnight with a low of 58. We'll still have a few showers tomorrow, then thunder showers for tomorrow afternoon, our high of 70. And then for tomorrow night, showers continuing just through the evening time. Then in the overnight, partly cloudy, a low of 59. We'll have partly sunny skies on Friday, high in the mid-70s, overnight low in the upper 50s. But Saturday, scattered thunderstorms are moving back in with a high in the low 70s, overnight low in the mid-60s. And some of those thunderstorms could hang around for Sunday, where it'll be partly cloudy with a high in the upper 70s, overnight low in the mid-70s. It's 9:54 now at WSJM, AM 1400 and FM 94.9, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest. I'm Brenda Layne. In the spotlight today, it's the Whirlpool Pride Network, and we're talking about June Pride events. It is June Pride Month this month, and Brad Gorman is here, lead for the Whirlpool Pride Network, one of 7 employee resource groups at the Whirlpool Corporation. Let's talk a little bit, Brad, about your personal story. I mean, you definitely know what young people are going through, what young professionals face, in the workplace.
Yeah, it is kind of difficult, the whole coming out process. Mm-hmm. The good thing right now is that folks are understanding their sexual orientation at a younger age, so they're able to kind of go through that coming out process.
Mm-hmm. But you told me during the break, you knew really early on. I mean, pretty much as soon as you had cognizant thought.
I did, yeah.
You knew you were different.
Yeah, I knew that I was gay, but I didn't really know what to call it or how to identify with it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of hid it for a long time.
Who was there anybody in your life that you could talk to about that?
To me, I guess not at the time, or I didn't understand it myself. So I think there's that self-identify thing, and then there's sharing it with others.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get through that self-identify stage to when I could share that.
Well, I think every person goes through that, when they hit that stage in their lives, 11, 12, that puberty age when you're just kind of, realizing yourself as a sexual person.
Right.
But for you thought, okay, this is not what, I'm hearing the other people talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, that is one of the problems so much for young people who are either know they're gay or lesbian or questioning their sexual identity. It's very difficult to go to a parent because you're not really sure if it's going to be accepted. Even a person who might be really trusted, like a clergy member, you don't feel like even you can trust it with that person because of the stigma associated, and you just don't know what the reaction would be.
That's true. And a lot of young folks, that's why I see a lot of young people that are going through their coming out process. Sometimes they'll move away from the community where they grew up. So they'll go away to college, or they'll move to the big city or something.
So they can be gay but anonymous.
Absolutely,
right.
Yeah. Or even just to find that sense of community where they feel like if they're in Chicago and Boys Town in a very welcoming and inclusive environment, they can be themselves. Mm-hmm. And so that's why one of the reasons, like my coming out process, I actually moved across the country to California started really figuring out my sexual orientation out there, and then I moved back here.
So this is your home?
Yeah, this is my home. I grew up here. I went to St. Joe High School. But that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this community, is because I want that feeling of being welcoming and inclusive, and letting young folks know that, you know, you can come out and live right here, and this is such a beautiful place to live, work, and be in.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that the Out Center is doing with their Gay Straight Alliance in some of the schools that they're encouraging.
Absolutely. St. Joe just started a Gay Straight Alliance this year, so that's really excited as that type of resource for our local high schoolers. But
by participating in and being a leader in the Whirlpool Pride Network, you're really working with professionals, people who may be facing inequality in the workplace.
Absolutely. And we're continually looking at those barriers to inclusion and how we can remove those barriers for our employees, and then also how we can partner up with the community as well.
What has your general professional experience been like as a gay man?
It's been really nice. I mean, joining Whirlpool Pride Network, I'd say, was probably a part of my coming out process. I just came out about 5 years ago here, after having been away for a while. So it's been really nice. I mean, Whirlpool, the nice thing about it is we have all of the appropriate policies in place to support our LGBT employees. So we offer those domestic partner benefits. We have the non-discrimination policies. And it's been really exciting to be able to go around and talk to other businesses and other organizations about implementing those policies, and then about also making those cultural changes so that everyone feels welcomed.
Well, it's good to see that there are at least some companies that are being progressive and really not being concerned with, okay, well, it's not a law yet, but we're still going to do it because we think it's right.
Absolutely. Yeah. We did that back in 2004.
All right. Any contact information that you would like to leave, either for yourself or the Pride Network, or probably the Out Center would be the best?
Absolutely. For emailing the Pride Network, we can always contact whirlpool.pride@whirlpool.com. And outcenter.org has all of those great Pride Month events that we talked about.
All right, very good. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Brad Gorman is the lead for the Whirlpool Pride Network, and today talking about June Pride Month in the Spotlight on WSJM, AM 1400 and FM 94.9, the news and talk of Michigan's Great Southwest. We're on every morning at 9 o'clock. Tomorrow, don't miss this. We're going to talk about Lakeland Healthcare and the new Marie Yeager Cancer Center. There'll be a big open house this Friday and Saturday. Jan Totsky will be here tomorrow from Oncology Services, and Linda Feitz, who's the volunteer director at Lakeland, here as well, because now a whole new passel of volunteers are needed for the new cancer center. So come and hear all about that tomorrow morning in the Spotlight on WSJM. Michael Patrick Shields is next until noon today. I'm Brenda Layne, and that's it for me today. Thanks for listening, and try to have a great day despite this heavy rain coming today. Bye-bye.